Hey girlies, it's Tara.
And it's Lissie, your favourite FaceTime besties. Well, we better be anyway.
Obviously. Welcome to an episode of Navigating Your 20s with us. We hope you enjoy.
And just a reminder, girls, we are absolutely not trained experts.
We are just girlies too, so don't take anything we say as gospel.
So I'm thinking, let's just try and figure out this whole 20s thing together. What do you think, Tara?
I think that's what we're basically doing every day together, babes. So let's get straight into it.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to the podcast.
I'm so excited
for the third episode. How exciting. This is our first topics one as well.
Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so excited. I honestly was in bed last night. Like, we wrote down like a rough idea of what we wanted to talk about. And I was like looking at everything, even like the juicy secrets and the dilemma. I was like, oh my God.
I know, it's good. I'm so excited. We've also got headphones in. We're trying to improve the audio a bit. Like, we do kind of understand it is quite shocking. But it's work in progress, you know? Like, this is all unfamiliar territory for us.
We are just girls trying to learn.
Literally, oh my God, it's been a right old fucking faff, hasn't it? Fucking hell. It's actually been like the bane of my life, like a little bit. Like, trying to figure out this technology. I've realised technology is not actually for me. It's really not.
It's not for me either. Honestly, guys, Lissie edited like the first episode and I was like the one supposed to edit the second. She like wrote me a list of how to do it, but I could not figure it out. And obviously we're on 6-hour time difference. So like she was asleep and I was like, wait, Lissie, I don't understand.
Yeah, you literally sent me a message like, you were like, please, I really hope there's a solution to this. When you wake up, just let me know. I woke up the next morning and I was like, there is a solution, don't worry.
It's because I was like, I could not, and it makes sense then we had to go on the dashboard, but like, guys, I was looking at this app, I was clicking every single thing, I was like, honestly, where is the Spotify button? Where is it? And I was like Googling it, it wasn't giving me an answer. It was like, yeah, you just upload it to Spotify, and I was like, no, but like, where is the button? And Lissie was asleep, and I was like, I really wanted to have it like uploaded in Slay before Lissie was awake, and I was like, Mom,
please help me. Oh God, it's been like mad. How has your first few days in America been though?
Oh my God, guys, it's so fun. Like,
is it? It does. You know what? It looks so wholesome.
It is wholesome. I like obviously am American, but I haven't lived in the States since I was young, and it's just like I do come and visit obviously a lot. Visit my family and go to like New York and things like that, but I forget how fun it is like even going to the grocery store. I'm like having a whole day out. I'm like, what are all these brands? And there's like things I've seen on TikTok, like Poppy, the soda, prebiotic soda.
Yes, you sent me a picture of that the other day.
Oh, stunning. And I'm like having the time of my life trying everything, and I've been, because of jet lag, going on morning sunrise hikes with the dogs.
So nice.
And then we've been going to the ice hockey, and I'm like, guys, okay, I know I used to joke about wanting an NFL man, but like these ice hockey men, I really sat there and I'm like, I fear I am in love with you. Like,
okay, I feel like we could make that work.
Yeah, I'm like, I said to my sister, I was like, if I fall in love with one of these men, like, guess New York's not happening. Like, I'm just gonna have to stay here. Because
do they do ice hockey in New York?
Yeah, they do everywhere. But there's like different leagues, so we're not watching the NHL. We're watching like the one below it, which my sister has season tickets to. But all of it, like their gear, and they're so tall, and they're like, they fight like on the rink, like they full on like fight and like check each other into the boards, and I'm like, oh my god,
vicious.
I'm like, why is this so sexy? Jesus, Tara,
that is so
my
funny.
sister's like, are you staring at them? I'm like, no, and inside I'm like, fight. But we have 2 more games this weekend, so I've always wanted to go, and it's never aligned, and I just get the week where there's 4 games.
Oh my God, that's so fun.
And the one on Saturday is the Irish one. It's like the potluck one. So everything's going to be Irish. There's going to be green beer. Anyway, sorry guys, it's probably boring to you, but I'm having the time of my life. If you can't see, I'm really trying to embrace my American Colorado side. Get you a girl that can adapt to her surroundings.
Yeah.
Like,
dress for the place you're in.
Yeah, like in New York, I'll probably be in like...
That is so a thing. Like, whenever you go to Paris, I feel like you kind of want to be like chic and all like, you know...
with bows and stuff, but no.
Whereas New York's very like cool and like street style.
I'll wear like my, you know, I got my pointed boots here. They're currently on the floor because like I'm not going to wear them here, but I do have...
Oh, the cowboy boots. We love them.
I haven't worn them yet, but I'm like waiting. Maybe Saturday's game I'll wear.
They look proper like American, do you know what I mean?
Well, you know what they say. But yeah, I'm like a different character in Colorado, and then I'll go to New York and be another character. It's really fun. But how was your week, babe? Tell me about the house, because I hate that I'm not there.
Oh my
to
God.
hear.
So me and George, I haven't actually said on here, but we are house hunting at the moment. We did have a previous house, but it actually fell through, which is a great shame. It had so much potential. It honestly went on for about 7 months. Like, I didn't quite realize how long the time really racked up. But there was a whole kerfuffle. Like, it's been taken to court. There was basically
so bad.
There was a gate in the garden which was shared between 2 properties, and the neighbour basically wanted a right of way through our garden. Obviously, we didn't want to buy the house with someone with a right of way. Yada, yada, yada. Boring story, fell through. So we're now on the hunt. Went to view this house on Tuesday, and it was so awkward. Like, it was the most awkward viewing. I'm sorry, but owners of houses, why do you stay in the house when I come to look round?
Why are they there? I thought it was like the real estate agent.
So it was both. So the estate agent was there, but like the owner was also there. And I was like, can you just like go? Cause it's really awkward, to be honest. Like, you're looking through all of their things and like all like through the house, and they're just like awkwardly stood there, and you feel like you can't really say anything because you don't want to be rude about their house. Anyway,
so
we
awkward.
walk in. I know. And we walk in, and this woman goes, I know who you are, to George. And George goes, am I meant to know who you are? This woman goes, I was your nursery school teacher. I was like, oh my God.
No, that's so awkward. I mean, like, wholesome that she remembers him, but like, also, you're viewing her house?
No, it was so awkward. Like, and then she like went bright red, and then me and George were just stood there like, oh, I was like, I hope you're a good child. Like, really awkward.
No. So awkward.
But our offer wasn't accepted anyway. They were basically like, no offers below the asking price, and we couldn't actually afford the asking price.
I think, is this the one that when I texted you the other day, you said was too expensive?
Yeah, it was too expensive, but we were just going to like give it a go, and they were like, absolutely not. So on to the next.
No, I have faith. The perfect house is, you will manifest it. It's waiting for you.
These are just, I was like, the right one will come.
These are just testing how bad you want it.
Exactly. We've also got time. Like, we've got our flat in London, so we're okay.
When does it end? October.
So we've got a bit of a while, but to be honest, I was saying to George anyway, I was like, I actually wouldn't mind if we had to move back in with his parents for a few months. I'm like, I could save so much money. Like, I'm actually for that idea, to be honest. I'm like, we could literally save so much money by not paying rent, even if it's for like 2 months, because it'll be over Christmas anyway. We're always back at his family home for Christmas. So I'm like, we don't even need this flat really. The only issue is like the furniture, but we can just get storage.
Get safe storage. I did that when I moved to London and lived with my dad for those first few months.
Yes, I remember.
It wasn't expensive. It was literally like, I think it was like £100 a month.
Yeah, so fine.
So like £50 each, and then you get to keep all your stuff.
Yeah, perfect. But anyway, this week's topic, friendships.
I'm excited. I was reading through the script and I was like, so many things to discuss in such little time.
I know. So we've got little sections, don't we? So I'm thinking we just go through each section and just discuss, give our opinion, give our advice, see what happens, you know? So see where it
leads us.
Exactly. So the first section was competition between friends. So jealousy, how we deal with that in our 20s. Because I feel like, obviously, like we said before, everyone does very different things, and you might feel jealous against a friend, but even though like they're doing something, but you don't necessarily want to do it, but then you're jealous that they're doing it.
I think we're going to discuss kind of like jealousy in 2 ways, like you feeling jealous of friends, and also like when you feel like a friend is maybe feeling jealous of you and kind of like, not taking it out on you, but like acting weird. So we're going to kind of confront it from both sides.
I've personally found in your 20s, everyone is definitely on their own path. And I do think it can sometimes be hard not to compare yourself to one another, because even though they're doing something which you don't necessarily want to do, you see it and it looks so fun and you're like, oh, I want to be doing that. I don't necessarily see that as jealousy. It's more like envious, right? Mm-hmm. But I do think it can be really, really hard not to compare yourself to others when everyone is on such different paths. You always see the good thing of everyone's path. And I also think social media, all you ever see is the good part of people's lives. So then
Amen.
it is hard not to compare yourself and be jealous, because all you ever see is the good side of everything.
It's a highlight reel.
Yeah, fully. And also, do you know what I always think? The grass is always greener.
Amen, girl.
You know, it is really, I do find it hard not to compare sometimes. Like, I see one of my bestest friends is traveling right now, and I look at her and I'm like, oh, what I would do to go traveling right now. But then I actually deep it and I'm like, wait, I've already, like, I don't actually want to do that right now. Like, it looks incredible and I'm so happy that she's doing it, and that's so great. But actually, for me, I went traveling when I was 18, and if I actually deep it, I don't want to go away for 8 months, you know, with a backpack on my back. Like, I've done it and I don't want to do it again. But I see her and I'm like, oh my God, that looks so much fun. And I'm like, you are living the life. And I'm like, I'm so jealous.
So how do you, like, what advice, Lissie, my logical Lissie, would you give to people to, like, remind yourself of what you want, and that, like, you don't, like, you see things that, look amazing, but you have to, like, how do you remind yourself basically that it's not necessarily what you want, even though it's amazing?
I think it's actually just taking a minute to yourself and, like, bringing yourself back down to reality. Like, I feel like it's very easy to get in your head and always see people doing stuff and be like, I want to do that, I want to do that, what's the next best thing I can do? Like, I'm also the worst at that. Like, I see someone else doing it and I'm like, wait, why am I not doing that? Like, I'm so, like, you see someone and you're like, I want to do that, I want to do that.
Yeah.
But actually taking a minute, realizing the path you're on, why you're on the path you're on, what matters to you in that moment, and just reminding yourself of what you're doing, you know? And you might even then realize that actually, no, I do want to do that. But then you make that happen, you know? But actually, I think sometimes just sitting down and thinking about where you want to be and what you want to be doing, and just, like, bringing yourself back down to reality.
I agree. I think as well, like, if you do, I know me and Lissie both have these, but if you have, like, mood boards or you've written your goals somewhere, sometimes, like, when you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so overstimulated, like, I'm seeing so many things and I want to do it, and you're like, and you get overwhelmed, I sometimes just take a minute to, like, look at the mood board I made and, like, remind myself of what goals I put out there and what path I want to be on.
But it's even like you moving to New York. I'm like, oh my God, should I be moving to another country? I'm like, I've never lived in another country. I'm like, get me to Australia. And then I deep it and I'm like, no, that's actually not what I want to be doing. Like, it's so easy to see someone else do it. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, I would love to move to Australia, but it's far too far for me. And
I can literally tell you, like, it's not for you to move to another continent. Like, I can tell you right now.
I also, like, I'm such, like, I love the UK. Like, I hate the weather, but I actually kind of love, like, the cold weather sometimes, to be honest. Like, I'm just such a UKer. And that's, again, like, you see someone else doing something and you're like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to do this. And then you actually sit down and you're like, wait, no, I don't.
You're like, wait, like, that was not true.
How have you, like, experienced jealousy in your 20s, though?
Well, let me tell you something. No, I'm just kidding. I think before I go on to, like, people being jealous of you, the thing that I do when I see friends, especially, like, in the industry we're in, when you get, like, you're in the same career or, like, you have similar careers adjacent to your friends and, like, you see them doing things, I listen to, funnily enough, a podcast from Nitsan Rader, who's a Canadian influencer, and she said her method, which I've used ever since and, like, completely fixed my viewpoint on being jealous of my friends, is using it as inspiration. So what she does is when she sees someone on, like, Instagram, for example, in her career doing what she thinks that, like, oh my God, I would love to do something like that, or I would love to kind of pivot in that sort of direction, she saves it to a folder on Instagram, or she screenshots it and saves it to a folder on her phone called inspiration and motivation.
I love that.
And she instead uses it. So, like, she sees her friends doing something and she now has the capability of being so truly happy for her friends, but at the same time being like, okay, well, like, I am motivated. I want to do something like that. And she uses it as inspiration and, like, goes back to that folder to remind herself of where she wants to be. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, I think that's such a good way to do it, and actually seeing it not as a malicious, jealous way, but, like, using it, like you said, as inspiration and, like, to spur you on. Like, if that's really what you want to do, to use it to, like, make you be better.
Yeah. And I loved it. And I use that ever since. Like, I have a folder on my phone of, like, things I've just seen, like, friends or influencers, or just, like, authors, all these like little things that I have like hobbies in. I have a folder on my phone, and that's what I revert back to when I'm feeling like uninspired or I'm feeling jealous or just a bit down in the dumps, you know, when it's like the luteal phase or something of my period, and I'm like, like I suck, and I just need to remind myself that no, I don't suck, and I'm inspired.
I love that. I really love that.
You, it's such a you thing. I'm surprised I haven't told you about that before. You should listen to this and rate
to
our
be
podcast.
fair, I feel like you kind of have, but you know, just for the podcast, I'm just, you know.
You little liar. Jealousy on the other side, I think when you feel like your friend is acting weird towards you, and this kind of links into like the therapist thing that we'll get onto later, but when you feel like your friend is jealous of you or acting kind of weird or not like being super supportive, like you tell them really good news and you don't feel like they're giving you kind of the excitement and support you would give them, or just you feel like the vibes are off, I always try and just remember that as somebody who's experienced a lot of different types of friends from moving so much, and you know, friends come in and out, but I view it as if they are a true friend, they will not be jealous of you in a negative way. Like they may have a blip for a moment, but like they will want you to be unconditionally happy. And that's what I just hold on to. It's not the easiest thing in the world. Like it sucks sometimes when somebody lets you down, but I do view when friends I feel like are acting weird towards me or like not being super supportive, and whether that's envy or jealousy or just an insecurity in their own self, I view it as just like my true friends will stick by me and be happy for me, and that's what I try and focus on.
No, I really agree. And I also think actually there's no harm if you do notice your friend like being a bit odd towards you, actually just bringing it up with them, because it might be an insecurity of theirs, and therefore you would want to work through that together anyway, because you want to be there for your friend if they're struggling through that. So actually speaking to them about it, being open and honest, they might not even realize they're doing it, and then they might be like, actually, I'm really sorry. Obviously I want the best for you. And, you know, you might be able to establish it that way.
I agree. But that's kind of, I think that's jealousy in now in your 20s.
That's jealousy all wrapped up. Ooh. Okay.
What's our next topic? I'm like, hit me.
The next topic is toxic friendships.
Woo! Right.
Well, this one's fun.
Can't breathe. Dying.
To be honest with you, I actually think I've been quite lucky, and I don't think I've necessarily really experienced any toxic friendships. I am kind of one who, like, if someone shows me one sign of bullshit, like, I'm out of there. Like, I can't be arsed.
So true. That's so you.
Like, I don't have time for it. Do you know what I mean? I've also been very lucky with the friends that I've grown up with. Like, I have a very solid home friendship group who we all support one another, and there's not really been any toxicity in that. And my new friendships, which I've created in my 20s, I've been very much of the mindset of can't be asked. Oh, the hearts aren't pumping. Maybe it's me because fuck the hearts. I've kind of been in the mindset of like, when I've created these new friendships, I'm a bit like, do you know what I mean? I can't be bothered for the toxicness.
Yeah, and I will say though, me and Lissie, we thought we were really good at reading people, but there's been a few situations where like we haven't been, because like I think that's one of the things is like that you call bullshit, and like I kind of do too. Like even since you know me, there's a few times where I've like not necessarily ended a friendship, but like taken a step back if I felt like it wasn't like healthy for both of us, not even just me, but like healthy for both of us. Because I have a viewpoint, if I don't want to give you 100% energy, I don't want you to give me 100% energy, because that's not fair on you either. So like I do try and step away.
That's so true. That's so true. Like if you feel like maybe they're in the friendship more than you are, then like it's actually just better if you do step away for both of your guys' sakes, because also you don't want to be mean to them. And that's not in like a way of like, oh, I'm better than them or whatever. But I honestly do think like a smaller amount of really great friends is much better. And with the lives everyone leads, it's so busy.
My view is like, I don't want to waste anyone's time. Like I understand how busy your 20s are, and like especially for people who also have like partners, and like not that I'm not insanely busy, I'm just busy by other things, but like giving your energy to people, like I do try and be like conscious of like people giving their energy to me as well. Like I want it always be reciprocated. But me and Lissie are normally pretty good.
We've been swindled.
Yeah, we were normally pretty good at like reading. Like me and Lissie will like are those friends where we're kind of look at each other and be like, we'll talk about that later if we like sense a vibe off. But yeah, I have definitely I never really experienced toxicity in friendship. I'm a very friendly, like over the top friendly person. It's just my personality. Like I love everyone like not in the depths that I love my best friends, but I'm just a very like friendly, like it's very American, very Irish. Like I love being friends. I love talking to people. I love making new friends. It's very me. So I hadn't until recently like experienced like super toxic environments. And it'd always been like when I've fought with friends, it's natural to fight with friends. Like it's never been super toxic. Like we've always kind of worked it out, or we've just understood that maybe we're not the right cup of tea for each other and kind of like mutually taken a step back.
I was about to say, like, you come to a mutual conclusion.
Yeah, and it's not like a toxic thing.
Yeah, you both decide to kind of move on.
Yeah, and like that's like really normal. But I have definitely been in more situations the past year where I was not realizing that maybe a friendship was super toxic for me. And that was definitely one of the hardest pills I'd say I've had to swallow in my 20s. Like, and I think the lessons I learned from it, what like toxicity in friendship shows up so different for different people. But for me, it was like a lot of just not honesty around kind of my life and their input into my life and kind of how they maybe not necessarily handled me, but in a way, yes. And
yeah.
I would say that's a good word. Like I was trying to think of a word. I was thinking about this last night.
I think that is, how they've kind of just like treated you.
Yeah, it hasn't been great. And I think for me, I've definitely learned that the hardest thing in life is that sometimes people will just be not nice to you. And there's nothing you can do, no matter how hard you bend over backwards or try or like let things go to just try and like move on, because this particular friendship is very intertwined in my life. And like, there's not really a way that I can actually step away. Like it's just not physically possible. This person's going to be in my life forever. So
I also think the worst thing about toxic friendship in your scenario, and I'm sure to many others, is the fakeness. Like you were being told one thing to your face and then another thing not to your face. And I think that's the hardest pill to swallow, because you think this person has got your best interest at heart, and actually they really, really don't.
Really do not. And really, really, really did not. And I think for me as well, like I let this person in a very vulnerable time of my life where I was very emotionally vulnerable. And because of like the dynamics of our friendship, I gave it like 100%, like 100% of my thoughts and my heart, which is very rare. Like only like you and like the girls really have like that side of me. I will talk to you about what I want you to know. I will share what I want you to know. But like sharing 100% me is very like, no one really has that apart from like my handful of very best friends. And I gave this person everything in a way shorter amount of time than I normally would, just because of the dynamics of our friendship. But I think the biggest pills I've had to swallow, and this is after a lot of therapy and maturing over the years, is that in a toxic friendship, you're not going to be able to convince them or even get them to see your side of the story. And that sucks. And it does suck. And it hurts you and it makes you upset. But you have to almost accept. And it's not an easy thing to accept. So I'm saying like, this is shit. And I really hope no one ever goes through this. But if you do, like, you have to accept you're not going to get closure. As long as you stay true to yourself, you say what you need to say to feel comfortable moving on without closure, it is way better than remaining in a toxic friendship, trying to get them to see your side and wasting your energy.
But I think also the hardest point is realizing that point of actually there's nothing's going to work. Do you know what I mean? Like you just have to leave the situation. You have to say your piece and leave. And I think that is a really hard point to get to, where you realize that actually they're never going to be in the wrong. And they're never going to think they're in the wrong. And it's actually just time for you to say what you need to say and leave. And realistically, if they're not taking what you say seriously, then was there really a friendship there in the first place? Because
I agree. And if
they're not, you know,
if you try and walk away and they don't fight for you either, like that's the thing you've got to realize. And my rule of thumb, girls, for if you're trying to wonder if you're at this point of walking away, is you give them a first chance to get them, like you talk everything out. It takes people time to process. You give them, like, you talk it out, you raise your things. And then I give them a second chance. And I do, because I think sometimes like the first talk about conversations like this are hard and they're confusing. But if at the second chance, they just like don't treat you any better, they're not willing to meet you even in the middle, even when you've done nothing wrong, like you shouldn't have to meet anyone in the middle. But like, they're just not even trying to fix this at all. Like, protect yourself, protect your peace, and focus on the amazing friends you have that are not them.
And I think that also moves on to the next friendship topic of outgrowing a friendship. I feel like that is quite a common thing in your 20s to outgrow your friendships, because I think, like we've said multiple different times, One more time. One more time, girl. Like we have said many a time, in your 20s, you are all living very different lives. And I think the good ones stay on, and sometimes you do outgrow a friendship. You're on very different paths and it just doesn't work. But I have personally experienced outgrowing a friendship but actually coming back again.
I love that.
It was very much like we were best as friends in college. Like, you know, we were such good friends. They went off to uni and they were just living their best uni experience, which I was so happy for them. But it was a bit of a tough pill to swallow, because I was like, we are just not as close anymore. And with COVID and all of that malarkey, like, we just didn't really see each other anymore. And we were just doing very different things. I was working, they were at uni, like, they, you know, going out all the time. I wasn't. I was in one city, they were in another. And I really do think we did fully outgrow our friendship. And it was actually really sad, because they were a really, really good friend. But I have then found recently we have come back together again, because we are now on the same path of working, you know, in a career, both in the same city. You know, you have your interests kind of align again. And I think you may outgrow a friendship. And I remember speaking to my sister about it at the time, and I was like really, really upset. And she was like, you just need to let her do her thing. Like, let her do her thing. And if you're meant to come back and be friends for life, you will. But in this moment, like in this moment in time, there's nothing you can do about it. Like, you guys are just not on the same path, and you have different interests, and it's just not really working. And that is okay. And she just said, like, wait until she finishes uni, and you never know what might happen. And there was no pressure on it. I kind of like forgot about the conversation, to be honest. And then it was only recently when like we have become a lot closer again, and I've been like, oh my God, like, that's actually so crazy how you can go like this.
I agree. I think it's also like healthy, like, not to, you know, turn it into an argument, to just understand that like everyone has different focuses. And that happened with my Irish friend, where we didn't see each other for a couple of years and reconnected in London. It's very normal.
I think it is really normal. And like, although it might be a bit sad at the time, I think it's, again, just trusting the universe. Like, if you guys are meant to be friends for life, you will. And if you're not, then like, you're not.
And also understanding it doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. I think sometimes when you're in those situations, you're like, am I not like cool enough now? Like, do they not have interest in me? And like, they might be feeling the same. It's like your 20s is just a bundle of emotions, I think. And like a bundle of like, oh my God, I don't know what's happening. And
no, fully.
It's also okay to genuinely outgrow a friendship and not be friends anymore. And it doesn't mean either of you are bad people or you've done anything wrong. Like, sometimes you have, like, my dad calls them, which is like not necessarily the best thing in the world, but he called it about the situation that went on these past like 6 months. It's a friend for a season. They come into your life, you serve a purpose for each other, but that doesn't necessarily mean every single person. Like, if every single person you meet is supposed to be a best friend for life, like, you can't have 100 best friends for life. Like, sometimes people, and you serve each other at the right time, you help each other in a certain way for a period of time, but you're not actually meant to be friends forever. And like, it's just navigating that and like looking back and being like, okay, like, are we really on the same path where we are going to be best friends forever? And like, I walked away from a lot of my friends for a season from the past 6 months and thought, they're great people, I'm a great person, but we're just not really aligned to be friends forever. And that's okay.
That is okay. And I think that's the thing. Like, you just have to, I think it is hard to get into the headspace of like realizing that though. But I think it's being confident in yourself, confident in what you want to gain from a friendship, and confident in the friendships you have. Like, I feel like when you're in school and college, it's all very much like you need the most amount of friends, like
the parties.
Like you've got to be the popular one with like 50 best friends. Actually, when you get older, like, honestly, like, I don't have time for 50 best friends, and I don't want 50 best friends. Like, I would much rather a small amount of like good quality best friends than like a crazy amount of like, half-hearted best friends. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want
agree.
that.
I think it's a weird transition when you go from like the wanting a million friends to like wanting true friends.
100%.
But I think the best way, and like honestly, guys, me and Lissie are like giving this advice from people who are later in our 20s. So like we understand it's not as easy like to swallow some of this. Like I get that. I was there a few years ago where I was like,
oh yeah.
But now I also, the biggest thing is confidence in yourself. Confidence in what you bring to the table as a friend. Like knowing you are a good friend, knowing you are a good person, and trusting that like the people that are meant for you will realize that you are a good friend and want to stick around.
That's the thing. It's believing in yourself, trusting your instinct, and like you said, being confident that you know what you want, you know what you can bring, and if you're not getting that in return, it's not worth it. Like, it's really not.
Walk your ass out that door.
Bye.
That's literally me. I'm like, out. I'm like, as I left London, I was like nurturing all the friendships that were important, and anyone that was toxic, I was like, write my last little message, send it off, and out the door I go.
Literally. Okay, next one. Putting yourself out there for new friendships in your 20s. So what ways would you advise to put yourself out there for new friendships in your 20s?
I love this one because that's how we literally became friends. My girl, do you want to kick off? Sorry guys, I'm just actually in my PJs on the bottom. It's party on top, PJs on the bottom. It is 9 a.m. here. We are on a 6-hour time difference, so don't mind my satin PJs.
I am
dead. I'm just a girl.
Too right, girl. Right. So putting yourself out there for new friendships in your 20s, what would I recommend? I mean, look, social media is great. Social media has its faults. It has its negatives, but I think there are many are positive on social media. And I think I think messaging for us was easy because we were both creating content. So like it was a very normal thing to do. Don't get me wrong. If I wasn't content creating, I wouldn't just message a random girl in London being like, hey, do you want to meet? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think you can use it to message people that you may have met like through a friend once on a night out, like they know your friend, or they're posting a picture of your friend, or someone you just met through another lifetime, and like a little swipe up on the story to gauge the vibes is fine.
But I also think using social media for things like run clubs, gyms, all of that, like even if you did a run club, what is wrong with me today?
Are you okay? Do you need me to come home?
Actually, I feel like I just had a really strong coffee, like, you know, when you're then just a bit like jittery, literally. If you met someone at a run club, you might, like, you wouldn't necessarily then, how do I put this into words? I'm really struggling right now.
You can't. I'm like, what are you trying to say?
Club and you feel like you've really connected with them, you could then find them on social media and then reach out to them because you've had that initial meeting of let's say a run club or the gym or whatever it is. You could then reach out to them online and be like, hey, let's go for a coffee, let's go for lunch. And I think that's a good way to like get yourself out there.
I agree. I also think like if you're at work and like you think you get on with a coworker, like I know it is so scary to reach out to somebody, but like the worst thing that's going to happen is you're not going to get the energy back, and like it doesn't happen. But you never know, even if someone's a bit quieter or someone isn't like as like friendly. Like I definitely experience this because I am like so smiley and so friendly. I'm like, no. Like to anybody I meet, a stranger on the street, I'm like, I learn about their whole life story, you know? But like I understand that some people are not like that. And some of my best friends, when I first met them and I was kind of trying to gauge whether we'd be friends, I was like, oh, like I don't know, like they're not super like warm or they're not super outgoing. And then like I just made the effort to be like, hey, do you want to go for coffee, or do you want to meet here? Do you want to go for a drink after work or whatever? And they ended up being some of my best friends. So it's like if you do get that inkling like, oh, I think we would get on really well, I'm just not sure how they feel about me, just make the move, because they may be shy, they may be awkward, they may have been burned in the past, like whatever it may be. Just put yourself out there, whether it's at work, run club, gym, whatever.
100%. I agree. And it is daunting, but like, look, what's the worst thing that's going to happen, really? Do you know what I mean?
Really. And I also think the biggest thing that well, obviously it definitely worked for like social media, but it actually worked in my personal life too, like not through social media friends, is say you have a friend who you know through like work or something, or a home friend, and they're in the city with you, and they have a bunch of friends and they're going out all the time. Just voice to them like, hey, I don't have like, I haven't met loads of people in the city. I'm looking for new friends. Like, do you think I could come out with you and some of your friends on like a night out? And I did that after my breakup. Like, I did voice people like, I want to be out more. I want to meet new people and mingle, just because a lot of my friends that I had in London were in relationships and they were busy on weekends and things like that. And it was so well received. And I just went out like with friends of friends, like, you know, all my Irish girls, and met their friends, their boyfriends' friends. And it opened me up to a whole new environment of people.
I also think if you were to do that and say it didn't get reciprocated well, like from the other party, like say they didn't reply or they were like kind of mean, I actually think that that reflects way worse on them than it does you. Like, they're the bitch in that situation. Do you know what I mean?
I
like,
agree.
Realistically, you reaching out to someone, if it's not received well, then like that says a lot from them. And you need to tell yourself, actually, I don't want to be friends with someone like that. Like, that's not nice.
Amen. And I also think like, if your friend, because I may or may not have experienced this deeply, that you reach out to and you become friends with some of their friends and then they get like jealous of it or weird about it or whatever, that also says more about them. Like, everyone here is just goes through different stages of life in their 20s with loads of friends, not many friends, loneliness, you're single, whatever. Like, trust the process that you will meet the people right through you. And like, even through that bad situation, I came out of it with an amazing friend who's going to be in New York with me. And like, it's so exciting. And these things are just, you never know who you're going to meet. And I take that mindset of being single and looking for friendships. Like, on a day out, I can meet somebody in a coffee shop, whether it be a future partner. Husband. Yeah. And I really strongly hold that view. Like, a conversation is never a bad idea. And just take that mindset in your 20s. You're at the, say you're in London, girls, and you're listening to this. You go to the Pear Tree, you see a girl in a cute outfit at the coffee line.
Yes.
Tell her she's a cute outfit.
Ask her where it's from.
Yeah, connect. What do you guys have in common?
Absolutely. Okay, the next topic. This is, I feel like this is an interesting one. Navigating when your friend gets a boyfriend and they go AWOL.
Oh, I love this one. I'm on it. Take it away, Liz, as the one with a long-term boyfriend.
I'm going to keep this one short and sweet because I am a little bit conscious of the time. And we've got our FaceTime therapist to go through and also our juicy secret. But for me personally, I didn't understand it. I can't get on board with it. If someone is going to ditch me for their boyfriend and just go AWOL, like, that's not a friend. That's not a friend to me. It's really not. I think also I've never done that personally. I mean, I don't think I have anyway.
I'm like, actually, I need to tell you something, Lissie.
I'm a huge girl. I think girl time is so important. Don't get me wrong. I love hanging out with George. Like, obviously it'd be a bit weird if I didn't. Bit concerning. But there's nothing better than girl time. It's so important. And if someone doesn't think that importance is of the same level, I can't be asked. Like, again, I don't have time for it. Like, if you think I'm waiting around, realistically, there's going to be two options, right? If someone goes AWOL because they've got a boyfriend and this is going to be their long-time partner forever, well, then if they're going AWOL now, they're going to go AWOL for life. So therefore, that's a friend gone. See you later. Goodbye. If they're going... If they get a boyfriend, that goes, so they either stay with it for life and then you've lost your friend, or they don't stay with it for life and then they come running back 2 years later because they've broken up. Oh, babe, if I wasn't important enough 2 years ago when you got this a boyfriend, well, but guess what? You're not important to me anymore. So, like, do you know what I mean?
Tell me how you really feel, babe.
That's my opinion on the matter. Like, I can't be asked.
No, I agree with everything you said. And I don't think I was ever really like that in my relationship either. And like, my friends did always say to me, like, you were very social, like on the weekends, like you were very social in life. Like, I love my girl time and it's very, very important to me, especially since even now more becoming single. Like, my girls are my life and they were the same in a relationship. But look, I have experienced it where friends have gone a bit AWOL. And my advice, because I agree with everything Lissie said, is if it's someone that really is a true friend, and you understand they've just gotten a bit wrapped up, you flag it to them. You give them a chance. You say, hey, I understand this is so exciting. I understand you're so in love with this boy.
Maybe don't jump to the conclusion of
I'm just going to bring Lissie's point like back a smidge. And
no, I do agree. I would do the same. You
Like, Lissie, anyway, you just ask them, like, hey, I'm a little hurt. Like, I get you're so wrapped up in this and I'm so happy for you. And make sure you flag to them. Like, I am so happy for you. I'm genuinely, truly happy for you. But I do feel like you're neglecting the friendship a little bit. And if they don't receive that well and they're just like, well, you're just like jealous or whatever, like, then yeah, they're just maybe not the friend you thought they were, which is shit. But like, sometimes people do just get wrapped up in it and they get so lost in the love and the excitement of finding someone that they just need a little nudge, a little reminder, and that's okay.
Yeah, you're so right. And I would do that. I would. No, I actually would. Like, if it was genuinely an important friend, like, I would actually message them and be like, hey, do you want to meet? Like, do you want to do this? And like, look, after like a couple times of trying to meet them and they're not here for it, then like, see you later, goodbye. But yeah, no, I do agree.
I think just be conscious, especially if it's like your friend's first like long-term boyfriend, or like they had a bad ex, now they've got this great relationship. I think as long as you communication is key in friendships in your 20s, and then it's not well received, you know you've done what you can and you walk away. But always 100%.
100%. The FaceTime Therapist.
Tara's the biggest stand-up therapist. Snaps for therapists. Lissie's my therapist, but also Real Therapy. Shout out Real Therapy too.
Too right. I'm so for it. Okay, so the situation.
Oh my god, do you want to read it?
Do you want me to read you the situation?
Yeah. Okay, guys, listen up, because this one was juicy. So this is really bad. I was shooketh.
I was shook to the core. Okay, so it goes. So, I just found out that my so-called best friend has been using a fake Instagram account to stalk me, and not in a supportive way. She's been commenting kind of rude things under random posts that I've posted. I only figured it out that it was her because I made a close friend story and restricted it to just that fake account. Then she started speaking to me about that story, and I confronted her and she denied it. Should I try and bring it up to her again? How should I act/deal with this?
This is wild. Like, who does that? But also Slay Queen for doing the close friends thing, because that is so smart.
Do you know what it reminds me of? The what is it? Wagatha Christie?
Is this the
Rooney? What's her name?
The footballer thing. Yeah, where the wife put up the one story to figure out who the leak was.
Something Rooney.
Colleen. Yeah.
She did the exact same. She put up close friends with like, restricted it to only one person, and then obviously managed to find out who was like dobbing her into newspapers. But yeah, that's wild.
That is just, first of all, I'm so sorry, because that is actually just not okay and so horrible and not something nice to find out about your friends.
Yeah, that is shit. And also like it's like, what, like I don't really understand why someone would do that. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of thinking they're not really your friend if they are doing that.
No, I do agree. I think there's my view is that it must be some form of jealousy and insecurity, because like happy people don't bring down other people. So like people that are happy in themselves, they don't bring down other girls. They don't bring down their friends, especially someone that's supposed to be a close friend. So it has to be, like, in my opinion, a jealousy or an insecurity thing. I think if this is a friendship that is truly important to you and like you think you can get past this, which is a very commendable thing, if you think there may be a reason that like there is jealousy or insecurity, my advice would be to bring it up to them one more time, be like, explain, hey, I put the close friends up, like I know it was you, like can you just explain to me what's going on? I want to understand. And it's not well received, then you've given them the second chance that I referred to earlier in this episode, and you walk away if she's not willing to admit it.
I think for a peace of mind as well, like if I was in your situation, I would definitely want to bring it up again, because one, I think as a friend, and if they mean a lot to you, like you do want to understand from their behalf, like what is going through their mind to do that, because it is a pretty like fucked up thing to do. Do you know what I mean? Like that's not what you would expect in a friend. So therefore I would be wanting to understand why. And I think when you receive the answers, if you receive the answers of why, you know, if she's going to carry on denying it, then I would like, no way, see you later. But if she is going to give you the reasons why, and you can take those on board and understand why, like to a certain point, then that's then your choice as to whether you want to go forward with the friendship or not. But I
agree.
For peace of mind, I think you want to know why. Like, why would your friend want to do that?
And I think also, like, if it is someone that's important to you, like, understand what they're going through that's maybe, like, motivating them to do that. And if, you know what, if they're a dick after it, like, yeah, if you walk away, you tried, and remember, you're a good person, and you're a kind and, like, compassionate person. But I just think, yeah, if they're, after the second time, they're not willing to give you anything, that is not something you should be putting your energy into.
No, I agree. And actually, if they're lying straight to your face and denying it, then, like, again, you don't want a friend who's going to lie.
No, I just think the first time, like, trying to think if I was that crazy to ever do that, me making a fake account to comment on your post, you'd probably be so embarrassed and freak out the first time you got caught that you deny it. So I'm hoping maybe a second time will, like,
so true. Like,
give the person time to, like, open up.
Yeah. I just think, like, it's pretty mental behavior. Like, why would you want to give your friend hate? Like, under a rant, like, hate is so disgusting.
And it has to be an insecurity thing.
Like, it must. Like, maybe she's jealous. Like, I don't know if you've got, like, a bit of a following, maybe. Like, maybe she wants to, like, change people's opinion on you. Who knows? But that is shit. So I'm sorry that you're going through that.
Keep us posted with what happens. Let us know. DM us.
Please do,
let us know. And then we can update the pod on how it went.
100%. Let us know what you say, and if she says anything back, and, like, maybe her reasons as to why, or his reasons, if it's a girl or boy, we don't know.
Yeah, I know. I was reading the message and I was like, is this a girl and a boy, or a boy and a boy? Because I also think that does affect, like the way that things, maybe if it's like a girl, I feel like girls do get a bit more jealous of other girls when they have, like, a boyfriend or, like, things like that. Yeah. I don't think, well, boys, correct me if I'm wrong if you're listening to this, but I've never experienced anyway in any of my guy friends of them getting, like, super jealous of, like, their other friends. I feel like guys kind of just throw a punch out and then that's that.
Literally.
I'm like, I don't really remember any of my guy friends going through anything like that. But yeah, that was a really good first one to discuss on FaceTime Therapist.
It was. I also feel like it related very nicely
to our topics.
Yeah.
What's next?
So, next up, we've got the juicy secret to end the podcast on.
This is literally my favorite book trope, so I was dying reading it. I was like, these are my favorite books to read. So hit me.
Okay. I can't actually remember what it is. Wait, let me read it.
It's literally like the romance books I read are based on this trope. Like, a trope is like a story, like the best friend's brother thing. Anyway, sorry.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I've been secretly... wait, sorry.
Drum roll.
I've been secretly talking to my friend's sibling behind her back. It started off as innocent conversations, just texting about random things, but now we've become really close. We've even gone out a few times without my friend knowing.
That's quite wild.
I'm starting to develop feelings for them, and I know my friend would absolutely lose it if she found out. I'm at the point where I feel like I'm betraying my friend. Do I tell them the truth and risk ruining the friendship, or do I cut ties with the sibling and pretend nothing ever happened?
Oh, this is so juicy. And obviously, I mean, I love a best friend's brother or sister, like, trope, like, you love it. But, like, I know these do have the power to ruin friendships, so...
Do you know what, though? I don't really understand. Okay, like, look, I kind of get I would get, like, your initial worry. One, I think, like, I personally couldn't keep that secret. I couldn't. Like, I would just have to tell them.
I think, look, like, my view on this is, you do not want a secret hanging over you and your friendship. Like, even if in this, obviously, this person said that they just end it with a sibling and, like, move on. Like, that secret will always be there. That will always be in the back of your mind. And if I was your best friend, I would find it way worse to find out down the line by accident instead of you just owning up and telling me. Because that is, like, an intention to lie, not just a feelings got the best of you for a little time.
I also think these kind of things, they're never kept secret. It's always going to come out. Like, one way or another, that will come out. Like, that person will find out and they will be way more hurt that you've lied this whole time rather than just saying it now I don't think there's any harm in saying it now, because realistically it's going to go one of two ways. They're going to get angry and you're going to have to choose between the sibling and the best friend, and that's your decision. And then you work past it as a friend. If the friendship means that much, you would work past that. Do you know what I mean? If you decide to ditch the sibling, or she is going to say it's fine, and therefore jobs are good in.
Look, I think this person or your best friend may, obviously you flagged, you think it's going to cause issues. So you must feel like that for a reason. It may cause initial issues, but if this is a true friend, they're not going to lose you. They may be mad. They may need a couple weeks to calm down. These things happen.
Yeah.
Like, if I do understand it's tricky, you know, when you involve family and best friends, like you don't want necessarily, like, if your brother treated or sister treated this person badly and then it's like a whole family thing. I get that. But if this person's your best friend, they will maybe get mad at you and then be happy for you. But one point I want to make is, before you tell your best friend, you need to figure out with a sibling what is going on. You need to understand if this is like, if I was the best friend, I would want clear answers about everything that's going on. I would want to know what's happening between you and the sibling now. Was it just a fling? And then like that's what you work through? Or is this like a relationship you both want? And like,
I would want to know, are you both?
Exactly. You'd want to know, so you could also, if I was the best friend, I'd want to talk to my sibling too. I'd want to be like, hey, like, can you explain? And so you and this person that you've developed feelings for need to be on the same page and have a clear-cut plan before you tell your best friend, so that you're not hitting your best friends with, well, like, I don't know. And then she's like, well, he is like, well, you're risking our friendship over and I don't know. You need to have clear answers, would be my view.
Yeah, no, that is actually a very, very good point. I would definitely do that. Speak to the sibling first, see what their viewpoint is. I think, look, either way, still tell the best friend. Like, I just 100%. Don't think you should keep secrets, and especially secrets which are to do with them. I do think either way, but I think definitely you're really right in that situation by figuring out exactly how you feel, how they feel. So when you do go to the friend, you've got it all listed out, like whatever question they ask, you can just answer like that, instead of it being like all flaky and a bit like just here, there and everywhere.
Yeah. And like, honestly, like if it is a true friend, they will, whether you're going to be in a relationship or it's just a fling, they will be happy for you. It may take a bit of an adjustment period because that's a bit weird sometimes. Like some people aren't as comfortable with that, but like if they're a true friend, they will want you to be happy. And if you're happy with this person, they will see that. And it just might be like a sibling issue too. Maybe it's something to do with their sibling and a resentment they have towards their sibling. Like there's so many things that could be fueling this, and you just need to communicate and be honest.
I think also if they're a true friend, then like they'll be happy for you no matter what. Like they'll want whatever makes you happy.
Oh, I want whatever makes you happy, babe.
You too, honey. So I think that's gonna wrap up the podcast for this week. But wait,
quickly, whoever sent that juicy secret, can you please update us as well about that?
Yes.
Because I would love to know. I must know how that turns out.
Yeah, I want to know how the best friend reacts, actually.
Yeah, I would. And I want to know what you and the sibling decide. Like, was it a fling or was it a long-term relationship? Let us know.
Or is it
Listen to the dynamics.
Is he going to be your husband?
Can you let me know if the sibling is older or younger than your best friend? Because I think sometimes that also...
Okay.
Like, I just want to know the dynamics. I'm intrigued. So if you could, I'm in Colorado for a few weeks. So, like, I would love some intel.
Just give me a full-on debrief.
Yeah, if you could actually just send a voice note, maybe make your own podcast just specifically about the situation and send it to me and Lissie, that would be so appreciated.
Imagine. Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, it was great chatting to you.
Forget that sometimes we're doing, like, a podcast.
I know. And, like, I'm trying to think, like, it's actually not even been a week yet since you've left.
No, but it feels like an eternity to me. I feel like I haven't seen you in about 10 years and I really don't like it. Anyway, sorry guys, we're rambling on. But that was our first topic episode. Let us know what you guys think. We'll put our next topic episode like on our stories along with like the therapist and the juicy secrets question boxes. So you guys
also comment below. I think you can comment on our podcast. So like if you want any specific topics, like comment below, because then obviously it might just be a bit easier for you if you don't want to like go onto Instagram or you don't have social media or whatnot. Pop your things below and then we can discuss them. And also let us know about the audio, if you think it's better, worse, whatnot, if you've got any tips, because to be quite frank, I'm absolutely clueless at this point. So, you know, if you happen to be a
tech person, I do need to add all my stuff. I did find a lot of microphones and headphones on Amazon. There's so many. I'm like, I don't know which one we should go for.
I have hope for this situation, to be honest.
Okay, well, it's quite cute. That's another little matching headphones.
I know.
Yeah, we'll put everything on socials, but as Lissie said, if there is anything that, and like you don't have socials, just comment it below. Send us a DM on socials if you haven't seen the story, anything you want to know. You can send us whatever, and we'll get into it because we're yappers.
Amazing. Well, love you lots.
Love you, and thanks for listening, guys. Hopefully see you next week.
Wednesday. Woo!
Woo!
Bye.
Bye.